Peace, everybody. Good evening. How everybody doing? Um, Today, I just wanted to I got like 5 minutes on my hands, and I really want to talk about creating jars and containing your spiritual energies into jars. It's really important that when you store your spiritual energy into a jar, you have to really channel that energy into the jar. And everything that you do from adding your ingredients into the jar should all be part of an intricate process that you use in order to channel and focus that directly into the jar. Okay? Everything that you use around the creation of the jar, even the 7-Eleven rewards sticker right there, everything that you use in the creation of your jar should be individually consecrated. Individually consecrated. You see, meaning that, we got chicken foots, and my students know about the chicken foot. We just had a chicken foot class. We talk about using the chicken foot to power the elements of the chicken foot, even using the spurs. We talk about channeling the powers of the totem spirit with the chicken and why the rooster, and how we use it in our root work. How we use it in our root work. So it was very informative class that we had for my students. And I gave them the science to that so that they can understand it and better empower the root work. Now, when we use each ingredient in the creation of a jar, and this jar has various ingredients. It has some snake skin. Yes, of course. It has snake skin. It has murras inside of it. I don't know if you can see that murra down there. It's a little murra inside of it. That murra was particularly prepared specifically for the type of work that we are doing here. So we use that murra. We have vinegar, of course, in there, and there's other elements. There's a pitcher bounded in the middle. This is a demonstration jar, actually. And this is a pitcher bounded in the middle. It's mountain brick. It's other elements and different herbs and roots that we consecrated over months, and then you would have a prepared candle or whatever here, and mountain bricks, of course, and your hexing powders and things like that. There's certain things we do with the powders. At Swamp Water Roots, we make specialized powders. Everybody got their own special formulas for powders. I have bags of them. Pretty much we have bags of powders and for different reasons, different mojo bags as a root worker, you want to take your mojo bag with you often. Sometimes you have prosperity powder bags. Sometimes you have, hexing, jinxing, bad luck bags. It just depends on what kind of energy you're using and what kind of energy you're really trying to call forth in any given situation. So this jar here, and when I'm talking about the spiritual technology, not necessarily just how to make the jar, but the spiritual technology. Remember the railroad tracks, the railroad spikes. They're very important, I think, my personal opinion, when it comes to root working, because our ancestors built the railroad system. Many of our ancestors died along the way when restoring and building this railroad system of this country. So therefore, we directly tap into the energy of that specific frequency. We tap into the energy of it, and we pull the railroad spikes, tapping into the ancestral force that built the whole system. You see, that's one of the reasons why we use it in the root work. And we use it at Swamp Water Roots by creating geometric designs. We create patterns with it. There's so many different patterns that can be created with the railroad spikes. They can be marked with inverted crosses, as you see here. They can be marked with inverted crosses and used in your root works. I've even actually seen root workers tie mojo bags to their railroad spikes, and they go and nail them in certain places, just depending on whatever kind of work they're doing. So there's a whole lot of different things you can do with the energy of the railroad spikes. Of course, they're rusty. You can scrape the rust off them, add the rust into your powders to make people's situation rusty. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole plethora of different things you can do with just the base ingredients you have. You see what I'm saying? Here we have sulfur, which is one of the ingredients that goes into the jar. Sulfur. You can use charcoal. Many different ingredients. Now, this is a vinegar jar. It's to make a person's situation bad. It's to make a person's situation bad. And that's just it. But this is just a demonstration jar. I figure I share it with the guys on YouTube. I spoke to my students for like an hour about it. And I came on YouTube to speak about it for about 5-6 minutes. And here we are, man. This is some like that root work when it comes to creating a jar, because you always want to have all of the elements there. You know what I mean? We create a left-hand path jar, so we use the left feet and we do certain things with it, and we go over all of the elements that we do to send the energy into the jar. If you're working on a spirit, we would have to put the sign, the seal of the spirit down into the powder. And we run over all of those things, man, laying the signs and the seals of certain particular spirits and powders and things like that. This is root work. And this is what we teach for our students. You have to be a serious person to call me and talk about you want to learn this root work, because it's a very serious path. But if you want to contact me, definitely do at medicinemail21@gmail, and we can get busy. You know what I mean? I teach all the time. We always on. We always getting it in. This is Swamp Water Roots TV. Y'all already know we got a whole plethora of ideas that we can show you guys on how to use and the elements. Oh, we got graveyard dirt right here. And you notice I got the cacaria sitting on top of the graveyard dirt. That is for protection. This is a guy that we got, from the cemetery. And he's a good guy. That guy, that's a good guy. It's a good guy. He's a gambler too. So we're going to see what kind of energy that he puts into our work. But this is just an experimental jar. I didn't really use them. I just was showing the students about how to implement those ideas and pull the spirit into it. But you always, when you're dealing with the graveyard dirts, you always want to put some form of protection on it. That's why I sprinkle the cacaria powder on top of it. You know what I mean? Just to kind of keep the energy down while we're working on it. When I'm done, I'm going to take them back outside. That's where you keep all the graveyard dirts. And I'm just kind of just dropping in for y'all for a couple of minutes. And like I said, the Swamp Water Roots TV,